And how else could people be getting toxic exposure? Through plastics, non-toxic cookware. So
Right.
part of the eating plan
Products,
we talk about. Yeah. What do you store your food in? How are you cooking your food? If they can't afford organic, you know, can they wash their vegetables really well? So trying to really avoid toxic exposure too is a big part of the eating plan.
Okay. All right, we got a comment here. Yeah, validation of the Dutch test. Great. Yeah, I'd love to just spend a few minutes kind of changing gears a little bit, just talking about your practice.
Yeah.
It's, if you don't mind, it's always super fun just to get an update on, you know, just how, just from a practice building standpoint. I know you're seeing private clients. Tell us a little bit about like the different services you're offering.
Yeah.
Including, I know you have a course as well that probably people here are going to want to learn a little bit more about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have individual clients, so they go through usually minimum of like a 3-month program. That way, we're really moving through all of the pillars that I believe to be essential to support them in managing PCOS. That can include testing. I also have group programs. I have small group PCOS programs. I find groups really empowering because these women feel so alone in their symptoms, and just to be together in a group and to converse and to learn together, it's really, really beautiful to see, and gotten good feedback about that. So we have some group coaching and then the courses. So the point of the PCOS course that I have is to really fill in the gaps that I saw in the healthcare system for PCOS, both personally, but also professionally. So it's to give the foundational information. Foundationally, what should these women be doing for their nutrition, for their lifestyle, for their gut health? What lab tests should they be absolutely looking at that they can advocate for when they go to their doctor? So it's a really nice blend. I have a special guest that offers a PCOS workout. We do some meditations on there. So it's really interactive course. They get some nice handouts. And it's honestly something that practitioners can do. It's, you know, a 4-week course. It's not, the modules aren't super long, and it's actually a way for you to further support your clients too. So that's a course that I offer as well.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll put the link for Eleni's course in the chat. Hopefully you guys will be able to see that. So it's www.womensnutritionclinic.com. So that's her website, womensnutritionclinic.com/online-course. Or is it courses? Courses.
Yeah. We have one other fun course in there on libido and sex drive with a sex therapist, because a lot of women with hormone issues and PCOS can struggle with low libido. So if that interests you, that's a really fun interactive course as well.
Okay. Let me actually, so let me create a, I'll put this on the screen. There we go. So womensnutritionclinic.com/online-courses. So, well, one thing that I really love to hear is that you've been successful in creating multiple streams of income, one of my very favorite topics, right? And, you know, you've created some leveraged offers, including, you know, the group programs, which, you know, is certainly a win-win all the way around, right? It helps leverage your time, and certainly your clients and patients, you know, they feel really well supported being around not only you as their practitioner, but also other women in the group that are experiencing, you know, similar challenges in their lives as a result of their PCOS diagnosis, which is so great. I love that.
Yeah, it's you know, just speaking off of that, as providers, I think we all want to help, right? But it's so easy to get burnt out. So it's really rewarding to say this feels purposeful. I'm reaching more people. Like, we need to address this, but not killing myself in the process. So it's really fun.
Right. And the thing that I hear day after day in the work that I do is, oh my gosh, like when my clients are able to do what you've done, and successfully offer a group experience for their clients, it's just like such a relief.
Yeah.
Because you're not, like you can say, instead of repeating things like 8 times a day or, 6 times a day, it's just such a relief to be able to kind of condense that, right, into, fewer touch points in your day.
And you know what? I think what people need, I think the really in-depth testing, it's so powerful. But the foundations, like what got us here in the first place? People weren't probably doing some foundational stuff, at least for my audience. A lot of it's like foundational nutrition, lifestyle. And so it's so powerful to have groups when you can and say, wow, I can review a lot of these foundational pieces. And people are saying tremendous change. And so I like that you brought that up. It's like, yeah, you can enjoy yourself. You can not have to repeat yourself a bunch during the day, and they still get the message, the important message.
Right. Yeah. Well, maybe you can offer a couple of tips in terms of, because I know most people, health professionals that I talk to dream of being successful, not only having programs and packages like you're doing, like the 3-month experience, moving away from the one-on-one sessions, but also building out what I call the profit pyramid and successfully being able to fill your groups. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's being really targeted with who you want the group to be for, because the more specific, right, the more you get that person to come. And, allowing that group to be the most basic foundational thing. I think as practitioners, sometimes we want to give like every little thing, right? Sure. We want to give the information, but that can be overwhelming to people. So if you say, hey, I have this group offering, it starts X date, we're going through the foundations, through nutrition, lifestyle, like give them a nice little outline and make the group robust. So for example, I also give people a version of the online course. So little modules that they can do between. I give them access to log their food. So I think a way to make the group really successful is being specific about what you want to offer, but also have add-ons. And these add-ons, they're usually not going to kill you in the process. I don't mind giving a little extra, recipes or giving that extra course. It was fairly easy to put that together. And just making the timing right. So, on my website, when I have a group that's about to start, it's very targeted. Like the marketing is very targeted, like this group, this start date, schedule the discovery call. And I find actually scheduling discovery calls to be one of the most beneficial ways to get people in the group, because people don't know what they don't need sometimes. And you might think somebody's calling for an individual, but it's also a great way to discuss your program. And I feel like I learned that from you, is like getting on the phone with people can be powerful. So I hope that made sense or was helpful.
It does. Yeah. And yeah, I do think in terms of moving people into a group, it still is one of my favorite strategies to have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And that really helps them to get to know you better as the practitioner. And also it just feels more personalized for them. Yeah. They really see the value in moving forward. Because it's, let's be honest, it's depending on the price point, of course, but if it's, if it's a higher price point, I would say especially it's important to have a conversation, because people just don't tend to click the buy button for those higher end offers, because they're like, I don't know, maybe I'll, maybe another time. Right. So I think that's a really, really important strategy there. I did want to mention to everybody, make sure that you sign up for I actually have a brand new, and I'm super excited about this, guys. It is going to really be awesome. Very robust. If you think multiple streams of income was full, wait until you see this new training. So it's called Sales Funnel Secrets for Health Pros. And I'm going to be teaching you how to create passive and leverage offers in your practice. All right. So I have the URL on the screen, leslivitel.com/funnel-challenge. All right. So mark your calendars so that you're able to show up live May 3rd, 4th, and 5th at 7 p.m. Central. So we're going to do it in the evening again. seemed to work out well last time. So again, that URL, leslibitel.com/funnel-challenge. And actually, if you have another minute or so, we got a couple more questions that I think are really good. Thoughts on whole food, plant-based versus animal? Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm glad you brought this up because I didn't even mention it. So I do find with PCOS that women do really well with a little bit of animal protein. I just think from like a blood sugar perspective, even if the client doesn't have insulin resistance, still balancing that blood sugar is really key and essential. And if somebody chooses to do whole food plant-based, really look at their ferritin stores, make sure they're on some good supplementation. And it's really hard to keep a whole foods diet lower in carbs or a healthy amount of carbs. I find people tend to really overdo the carbs. So, an animal protein or animal foods, it doesn't have to be aggressive. It can be, a little bit of eggs, a little bit of fish. You could do a little bit of like collagen powder if somebody doesn't want to eat, red meat and steak every day. So I think it's a balance, but I do find animal foods are really, really beneficial for this sort of population.
Okay, great. Ooh, and I love this question too. So what about coaching versus MNT? Really great question. And then lab tests would lab tests would involve interpretation via MNT. I think that part's a question too. So what are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, this is another great question. So in individual programs, I kind of blend the two, and I say this to clients. I say, I'm here to be a coach to support you and ask you questions and help you work through like patterns that haven't been serving you in terms of nutrition, lifestyle, because these women have a very complex relationship with food. So we want to understand the barriers, what's keeping them stuck, etc. But the MNT is really essential, right? Looking at labs, seeing where each individual is. So I find it's actually a blend that works the best. Okay. But a lot of the foundational information can be very coaching based. Like that's what I do in the course. It's the foundations that these women need to know. And then if they want to do a little bit labs, they can do that. So I think a blend is best, but coaching is still a great start to at least get the education out there.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Definitely kind of a different approach, right? In terms of coaching versus MNT. And I love what you said about blending the two. And I can attest to that myself because that's exactly what I used to do when I had my nutrition practice, is really combining the two approaches. Yeah. And I think that works really well.
Because they've been told, don't eat this or just eat this or eat this amount of carbs per day. They need the support. And I think coaching is a really powerful piece to getting the message across and making sure it sticks. And so, I think the blend is really supportive.
Yeah. And I mean, at least from my perspective, coaching is more about aligning with the client, and versus MNT is a little bit more, the orientation is more about, you being the expert, right? Right. So it's super interesting how those approaches are different, and especially how we can blend them into a really, I think, effective approach.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, as we start to wrap up, any kind of final words of wisdom that you'd like to share, Eleni?
Just thank you for having me, allowing me to, be here and be an advocate for women with PCOS. And I think just like that word of wisdom is, if you can ever put yourself in that place, if somebody's talking to you about a symptom, if you suspect it's PCOS, and just listen to your client because they know their body's best. And this population often feels very unheard. So thank you for letting me speak up for them. And if you come across a client where you suspect, just hold space for them. I know it'll mean a lot.
Okay, awesome. And guys, just a quick reminder to go visit Eleni on her website, womensnutritionclinic.com/online-courses. And one last reminder on my upcoming 3-day live event. Be sure to save your seat at leslibitel.com/funnel-challenge. And I can't wait to see you there. It's going to be great. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. We're finally getting some sun here in the Midwest. So I'm excited about that. Looking forward to getting outside later this afternoon. Hopefully, wherever you are, you're going to enjoy some time outside. And all right, so look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a great rest of your day, wonderful weekend, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye for now.